Professor Padmanabhan, all the distinguished participants, intellectuals and innovators from all walks of life, and all the students who are present here. It is absolutely a delight for me to be here with you this afternoon and give this talk. In this talk, I thought I'll share some of the ideas, which is a very small subset of the technologies which are happening in the world and in India. So instead of cataloging all of them, I just thought I'll say where we stand with respect to the world in the country, in India, and what are the steps government of India is taking, and where do we expect to go. But before I do that, I would also like to acknowledge the role of government of Karnataka in promoting STI ecosystem here for a long period of time. I had the very close view of this when we were running Bengaluru Nano for almost 12 years. And the support actually has grown with time. And a meeting of this nature, of this magnitude, of this scale, truly reflects the commitment of Karnataka government to science, technology and innovation, along with all the stakeholders. So my congratulations to government of Karnataka, and I am sure as we go along, it will only increase. And whatever the orders Professor Padmanabhan has given to me, please be assured it is also my agenda. So I definitely have that, and it will be done. So let me start by again saying what I wish to talk on convergence of technological revolution for advancing India's growth trajectory. And what we are going to look at is a global transitioning towards knowledge-intense economies. So the question is how S&T contributes to economic progress, and how to increase in domestic technology intensity that will boost our global competitiveness. So these are the two goals which we will address in this presentation. So this is the outline. Because it's an after lunch session, so I'm giving you the outline before. You can choose where you want to snooze, and then you can come back. So I'll look at science and technology for socio-economic development and growth. India's ecosystem, a fact sheet. I'll give you some authentic data, commitment to our research and innovation, performance and output, and outcome and impact. And the third part, I will take few examples. As I said, this is a very personal choice because the office of PSA has been involved in one way or the other in shaping this or discussing this various ministries. And I will look at quantum frontiers, the fast growing frontier right now, advanced communication technologies, digital transformation, clean energy revolution, and One Health mission. And in the end, I'll discuss a few steps which our office has taken towards policies and the role of stakeholders. So this is what I said. We will look at global transitioning towards knowledge-intense economies. And so I thought there couldn't be a better way but to look at two examples which have made a difference using the knowledge economy, a knowledge base to come to the stage where they are. I'll just look at Israel and I'll just look at South Korea. Roughly the time we got independence, they also got independence here and there few years. And what have they done by intensely devoting the energy, the input into R&D. So if you look at that, Israel is a leading performer in terms of its knowledge infrastructure, and now it ranks 21 out of Global Knowledge Index. As you know that the Global Knowledge Index emerged as a replacement to World Bank's well-known Knowledge Economy Index of 2012. So this index is more holistic and it incorporates multidimensional nature of knowledge and helps to guide policymakers and researchers in their efforts to foster knowledge-based societies and bridge knowledge gaps that will help to develop the society and economic growth. I don't know if you can see the numbers. It has various sectoral indices, which you may not see it, but you should see that their overall rank is 21 out of 138 countries, and their score is about 63.7 on the average, extremely high. But the sectoral things, if you see, you will see that there are various components in this. You may not be able to read it. I'll just mention that research and development and innovation, they are third in the country, and they invest 4.65% of GDP on GERD. This is one of the highest in the world. And another one which we should take example from is South Korea. Korean Republic is a leading performer in terms of its knowledge infrastructure, and it ranks 19 out of 138 countries with a GKI score of 64.4. Again, remarkable rank, and the individual rank, sectoral indices I have given. But again, it all goes to show that they have invested 4.81% of GDP, and researchers in business enterprise is one of their strength, and GERD performances by business enterprise is one of the largest. Now let's look at India. India, we are at 0.7% of GDP, but here we have some areas of strength. So we rank 75 out of 138 countries in Global Knowledge Index. Our score is 44.4, slightly below the global average of 46.7. But our areas of strength is to create goods export, percentage of total trade in goods, and the number of graduates, and hopefully the quality in terms of science and technology, engineering and maths is very high. And it has a high ranking in scientific publication in terms of numbers. I'll give you some indices later on. This is where we need to work on. So this is individual development and growth, increase in domestic technology intensity, how it will boost our global competitiveness. That is our goal. So here I have written various indices. Again, maybe in a big hall you may not be able to see, but I just want to point out that in Knowledge Economy Index, we have improved from 40.6 in 2020, and this is 2022 data. This has increased to 48 and improved from 27.3 in Research Development Innovation Index to 31. So these are the positive signs, but we need to work really much more. And other indices are more or less at the 2020 level. So let's look at the fact sheet. Here you will see I have plotted national R&D expenditure on the x-axis in absolute terms, and on the right side it is the percentage of GDP. So what is happening is the red line is the percent of GDP, even though R&D expenditure, which is shown by blue line, is increasing. That is because our GDP, fortunately and proudly for us, is increasing. The blue one, you can see that it is a huge growth in the last many years. Because of the constant, the increasing GDP, our GERD percentage is more or less same at 0.7, but this has to increase. And so here I'll show you the government sector contributes 58.7%, and the business sector, including all public sector undertaking, is about 41.3. So this is something which we need to see. How do we strike a better balance? It is good, but it can be better. So here you will see the central government is the major funder of R&D, 43.6, and the private sector is 36.8, and various state sector is 6.4, and so on. So this gives us a sense from where this R&D funding is happening in the country. And you can see that central government is the primary investor. This is an interesting table. I don't think I'll have time to look at all parameters, but just to take you along, and the matter of concern also, the second column, which is researchers per million inhabitants. Of course, we are touching 4.4 billion as of yesterday, as you saw the news, partly because of that, but partly because our numbers in full-time researchers are not that many. We are only 255 per million, that is 10 lakhs. Whereas in US, it is 4,200, UK is almost 4,300, China is 1225 with a similar population as ours. It is 1225, almost 5 times. South Korea is 7498, and I'm sure the South Korean delegation will be very delighted that they are sending a good message and a good benchmark. And Japan is 5,300. If you look at the PhD produced annually, we are producing about 40,000 PhDs, and we rank third. And the publication output, we are also third, but top 1% cited articles, our share is only 0.7%. This needs to improve. And the patents granted is a matter of concern. It is increasing, but it is only 26,000, and we rank 7th. So in a country like ours, where we need to increase the full-time equivalents, and the patents granted has to be looked at. This is the message from this slide. Again, I will not belabor this. I'll just move on. That annual PhD produced, as the projection says, in the STEM sector, which is the orange curve, by 2025, we will have about 40,000 PhDs. This is comparing with the US and China. Yellow curve is for China, and you can see that it has been increasing very, very rapidly. USA, I have put in 2 parts, US domestic and US total. When I say domestic, means the people who are from the US origin. And you can see that it is increasing. India is the blue curve, which is increasing, as I said. But we really need to see the quality factor, and we really need to see how do we strengthen it. This is a good news story, but again, much more can be done. We have jumped in Global Innovation Index in 2022 to 40. So we were 81 7 years back, and now we are 40. It's a very good news, and we hope we can go forward in this evaluation. Again, this is a meeting with a lot of startups and a lot of emphasis on that. I thought this slide might be of interest, that India has emerged as the 3rd largest ecosystem for startups globally, with about 77,000 startups, which is a 15x increase in the total funding of startups, and 9x increase in the number of investors, and 7x increase in number of incubators. Also, in terms of unicorn, the estimate is that this aggregated valuation is about 535 billion as of this year. Here, what we need to focus in the next few years is the deep tech startups. There is nothing wrong in other startups, but deep tech startups are really the ones which make the country strong and independent. Here, number of deep tech startups, will increase. For example, it will be 3,000 by in next few years. It will have various factors which I have written. I will not go into detail. And cumulative funding raised will be about 2.65 billion for deep tech startup. I'm differentiating between the 80,000 startups and the deep tech startups. This is again a projection, deep tech startup by 2025, at least 7,500 if it is normal, but if it is accelerated growth, sorry, it is the other way, 5,000 and 7,500 if everything is good. But all these charts are just to show you this is the aspiration which we should all have and work towards. So let me briefly touch upon in next 10 to 12 minutes, only give you a glimpse of this. It no means a very exhaustive study or a presentation, but many of it are discussed in this conference. And many of things will be probably discussed probably in the private domains. So I will just touch upon 5 revolutions which are happening: quantum frontier, advanced communication technologies, digital transformation, clean energy revolution, and One Health mission. In quantum frontiers, which is one of the very fastly growing quantum frontier, where we really need to work a lot, is that Indian government is very soon going to launch a quantum mission. It's almost done. Anytime soon it will be announced, and it has various ministries involved, and with a layout of almost close to 0.8 billion to 1 billion US dollars. And this is which will have 4 sectors: quantum computing, quantum communication, quantum materials and devices, and quantum sensing and metrology. So there will be 4 verticals in this quantum mission. So this is just to tell you, we are joining this whole league of nations which are investing very heavily in quantum frontiers. Well, I have just given the numbers. Again, I may not be able to read. United Kingdom, 1.36 billion US dollars. China is also of that order, which I have written. Canada is of that order. China is 10 billion, much more. And our Indian one is close to 1 billion over the next few years. So many people ask me, what is this quantum revolution? Because it is not really taught in colleges or schools. So I just thought I'll take 1 minute, which is absolutely, I'm not justifying this, but you should know that quantum revolution happened in 1913 when the spectral lines of hydrogen was explained. But that time, quantum mechanics was helping to understand the systems, atoms, molecules, and solids. You couldn't have your transistor but for quantum mechanics. But what we are talking is the controlling the quantum states of atoms and molecules and solids. This is the big revolution which is happening, which has been only in the making in the last few years. And nothing more satisfying to see that this year's Nobel Prize is given in the quantum frontiers on entangled photons for quantum communication and quantum computing. So these, the prize was announced very recently. Now, just for, because this question has been asked to me so many times, I made this slide. What is the quantum doing? Just remember, in classical classical computers which you carry in your pockets, you have 0 state and 1 state. 0 state and 1 state. What happens in quantum mechanics? You can have simultaneously 0 state and 1 state. And that is a qubit. How much of each one is there will be decided on how you make a superposition. But that is the very crucial difference. And the big difference is, you can have entanglement of these qubits, which is what I have shown in the cartoon. 0, 1, which is existing simultaneously, entangles with another qubit. So the entanglement of qubit is very critical to all these quantum technologies. Entanglement of qubits means properties are intertwined. If you know one, you know the other. And quantum bits, the bad news is they are fragile. Their coherence is lost, so you need to work on them. And this is where all the efforts are. There are many technologies in the development. It is not a final story. One of the leaders is the superconducting Josephson junctions, which is what is going ahead. But there are other technologies which are in the making, be it trapped ions, be it entangled photons, and so on. So this is what we need to do to handle this quantum this thing. So one idea which everyone is very excited is the quantum supremacy. Namely, this is the word coined by John Preskill. Can you do a problem which is only possible by quantum computers and not by classical computers? So quantum simulators, which is the dream of all of us, is to simulate the phenomena which classical computers cannot do. And it is now believed that the best thing is that wherever you have optimization issue, like in which are complex, which are exponentially in complexity, this is where quantum computer will come to your help. So what you have, for example, can we have a quantum model of photosynthetic molecule process which is so efficient, almost 90%? People are trying to duplicate that in the laboratory, not succeeded. So the idea is the quantum simulator can understand the pathways, which has not happened. If it happens, then you can do the rational drug design, you can do rational molecular synthesis, rational Haber-Smith Bosch process, whatnot. And recent paper this week in November 14th has said we have a long way to go. The reason is the noise in the quantum computer in this process keeps on increasing, and after 300 gates, it is overwhelmed by noise. So you have this noise generated from switching of gates that perform logic operation and in reading their output. So it's a big challenge for all of us. This is a problem which is not solved. So this is why I am mentioning it. Quantum computing is another area, communication, I'm sorry, where you need to have a secure communication. And what is the idea? Idea is that you send the signal classically, but your key is quantum, so that the key cannot be broken and you will have a safe communication. So that is why you have the quantum key distribution, and there are various protocols. Good news is it is happening in our country at good pace, but the challenge is quantum repeaters, because when you use entangled photons, you cannot go beyond 150 to 200 kilometers without amplifying. In that amplification, you cannot have the quantum key. And this is where all the work will happen in the next 2-3 years all over the world. Once we succeed, we'll have quantum teleportation and quantum internet. So good news is that with this Macan network, which also has the PSA office involvement, they have demonstrated up to 15 kilometers. And very recently, DRDO and IIT Delhi have demonstrated up to about 100 kilometers between Prayagraj and Vindhyachal. So this is a good news, but we need to go to those quantum repeaters if we want this dream to succeed. The next one is the advanced communication technologies. Many of you are more experts than me. I will only mention 6G. 5G is already rolled out and it's happening. But large number of technologies in 6G have to come because it has many advantages, including extreme coverage, low energy cost, and extensive massive connectivity and so on. So a lot of work has to go on. And the good news again is the Department of Telecommunication has formed a 6G Technology Innovation Group, which is looking at all the questions I have written here to make a roadmap to make so that 6G we are ready sooner than later. So it's already started all over the world. Something is happening here, but it has to be scaled up. Digital transformation is, you all aware, that it has many sectors. It has artificial intelligence and machine learning. It has cyber security. It has Internet of Things. It has cloud computing. It has big data analytics, digital twin, robotic automation, and enterprise resource planning. All this will be really the future of this digital transformation. And this is an area where India is taking a lead, and I hope it will take more lead than other nations. So I will again say that again a lot of opportunities have come. They are there in government sector. This is a old data of 2019. You can see the number of Aadhaar we have, the number of WhatsApp subscribers, the number of social media users in business sector and government sector. And this is all telling us, which is, it does not need any intelligence, that digital opportunity is really a huge one for us to come in next few years. And I cannot but mention this metaverse. Metaverse is already started. We have the internet which is in 2D. Idea is you can have in 3D. You can have the digital twins of a city, digital twins of a factory, digital twins of a hospital, digital twins of anything. And you, as you know, that the first digital twin of Seoul was demonstrated not long back. And this is where lots of this technologies will be playing a role. So this metaverse is not only for gaming. Gaming is one aspect, but this is, of course, there are many, many things more. We will have interactive science labs using metaverse. You will have education and science more accessible. You will have virtual commerce, but also you will empower workforce and strategic capacity building. This is all that is possible and much more by metaverse. And this is what you should look forward in a very major way in the next 3 years. Clean energy revolution is already happening. We are aware of the CO2 rise and the surface temperature rising. And already there is the signals are on that we are not doing well. India has not been the major polluter. If you look at the overall thing, this is the debate going on in this week. But nevertheless, we have taken a conscious decision that we will limit our net zero by 2070. So this will have many sectors. This is only telling which sectors are contributing to CO2 emission. But here, there are many things which our leadership has announced to increase the non-fossil energy by 500 gigawatts by 2030, reduce total projected carbon emission by 1 billion tons by 2030, and net zero by 2030. So all this is not going to be easy. Please trust me. Many, many sectors have to work on it. And one of them, only saying one, there are many sectors, is the green hydrogen. So the green hydrogen looks at the good old electrolysis of water using renewable energy, not the fossil energy. Once you are doing that, then you can use green hydrogen in various applications. And biomass, which is a big, big thing for India, you can convert biomass to give you biogas. And yesterday I visited ISC lab, where we are mixing with steam. You can make the syngas, which increases how much hydrogen you can get out of 1 kilogram of biomass. And this is really the technology which will grow. Electrolysis, please remember, was made in 1888. It's not a new technology, but the optimization, the material issue, all are new, which has to happen. This is what the India expects by 2030. This is all the targets. I will not go because these are too many numbers, but it will have end use in mobility using hydrogen fuel cells. It will be feedstock for green ammonia in fertilizers, and it will also be used in steel industry for direct reduction of ores and many, many more sectors. This is the whole thing is in the green hydrogen mission. As I said, this mission is about to be launched anytime. It is again a huge mission for the next few years, and India is committed to make green hydrogen as a major player in achieving net zero carbon. Battery is again a big factor in this, and this is where we need to go beyond lithium ion. You need to work on sodium, aluminum, and whatnot, and this is again a R&D area. Last one, I have so Padmanabhan, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. I'll just give you one health mission, which is something which has been launched, not launched, which is in the preparation. Uh, so we have a PM strike. This is the Prime Minister's advisory body in Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council. In that, the decision was taken that One Health, which looks at holistic view of human health, animal, livestock, and wildlife together, not in isolation. And this is the message all of us got very, very clearly in COVID time. You have to take all the three sectors in a holistic manner. And this is the mission being prepared now with the participation of almost 10 ministries. They are all doing One Health, but maybe there are gaps, maybe there are improvements needed. And this is what is done. And I'm glad that Dr. Sindhura is here. He is leading this mission to make it a reality. So these are various things I will not talk. Integrated disease surveillance. We will have the disease preparedness in terms of vaccine and diagnostics. We will have pandemic preparedness, all that with interministerial collaboration, coordination, and communication. This is a big, big mission which we are launching, in which many ministries will be involved, many states will be involved. And you know that Karnataka government has already launched One Health mission. But this is something which will have to, this has, our mission document has many, many more factors. And this is what we want to do. It has many technology needs. Again, short of time, I will not tell you. You can read it. It has large number of technologies to be developed. What are the new platforms you need for all the three verticals: humans, livestock, and wildlife? So what are we doing in the last 2 minutes? Sorry for not spending enough time. I will just tell you that in our PSA office, we have launched this National Science and Technology Cluster, and it is relevant because after my talk, there will be a brief ceremony or brief event to launch the Bangalore cluster. So we already have 5 clusters in Delhi, Hyderabad, Pune, Bhubaneswar, and Jodhpur. And today, Bangalore will be launched. So this one has a pyramid structure. The pyramid structure is a very holistic. The bottom of the pyramid is where each cluster will enable the creation of a shared ecosystem with a large number of institutes in the neighborhood, working together as one large institute through a formal umbrella, but retaining their internal autonomy. Very, very important. Second, so it will entail sharing of facilities, sharing of courses, and so on. Second one, the pyramid is the becoming a regional solution provider. And here we will have this clusters will be the solution provider to local bodies, state governments, and industries, and creating a regional influence. And of course, the top is national and globally competitive, at least in one area or 2 areas. These are just some snapshots of S&T clusters. I'll just rush through. Pune is focusing on areas which I have written. This is a reality in the last 3 years. And all these clusters, if you go to their website, have done extraordinarily well. Our office has given a very modest grant to catalyze the whole thing. But now they are going out and generating 10 times more resources than what we have given. And that's the success of the program. And this is where I hope Bangalore will exceed all the 5. Because Bangalore is a hub of S&T and I. And if you cannot do it, I'm sorry, nobody else can do. So you have to take this challenge. We have a small ceremony. You will see who are the players. But this is where we need to do along with all the stakeholders. Hyderabad, Delhi, Jodhpur, I didn't have time. But the last part which I want to mention, this is what will be populated as we speak. And the last part, in last 1 minute, is a wonderful platform called Manthan. Manthan is a platform, it's a democratic and decentralized platform for collaboration between all stakeholders, between academia, startups and industry, as well as philanthropic and government sector. This is a very unique platform with many USP, which I will not read, and it has a very well structured features. In that, we will have the demand side. Who will be the demand side? For example, industry and so on. What are the challenges they face? And our supply side will be the research institutes, incubators, startups, SMEs, clusters, and centers of excellence. This is absolutely fabulous, where you can put your problem and really have this very collaborative thing. So already the good news is that in the last few months, this was launched very recently, 3 months back, we already have total number of opportunities on the platform 45 in the last 2 months. Current open opportunities are 20, closed opportunities are 25, and success stories are already 7. And if you look at the projects which are going on, you can go to the website, please do that. And it has an international wing also. So the international players will also be able to join this Manthan platform. With this, let me thank you once again for having me here and allowing me to share the vision of the PSA office along with all stakeholders. Please remember, PSA office is a catalyst. PSA role is to bring together all ministries, irrespective whether they are science ministries or not science ministries, do the policy interventions like in drone. The drone policy has a lot of things to do with our office. That's why it has gone to the level which we never expected. Many things are happening in the technology policy front. We have another arm which is called Empowered Technology Group, which I did not discuss, which also looks at all the futuristic technologies which India is working and India is procuring. So with this, let me thank you once again. Sir Padmanabhan, thank you for chairing this, and I'll be very happy offline interaction. Thank you.